Good morning. Let's build us a knife. Now this is what is called a Sgian Dubh, a Scottish knife. Now this is a Chinese knockoff. Okay. This particular one is not worth much of anything, but the shape, and we're not doing that kind of sheath on this one, but the shape and style is pretty close. So I'm going to use this for a pattern, and it will be slightly bigger than this, a little bit oversized, so we can put my personal touch on it. And being a Scottish knife, I will leave a link in the description box of exactly what they are, because it's hard to explain and get it exactly right. But I do know a little bit about Scottish stuff, being is my name is Wallace, of course. So, but I don't know a lot of history about it, but I know a little bit about the knives. So there we go. That's what we're going to pattern. Now I know right off the bat, now I have made a few of these before. It's been a long time, but we're going to make the handle a little bit bigger. And these traditionally have this kind of scabbard or a wood scabbard, which the first one I made had a wooden scabbard, because they are normally worn inside of a sock. Now, when the Scottish guys, they got their kilts in the tall socks, because from what I understand, knives over there are illegal. But they use these for everyday use, not just self-defense, everyday use. Let's see, so the blade is about right, so we're going to trace that there. Going to come up here, stop right there. Try to hold it still. Now we'll cut on the outside of the lines to make this, the blade itself will be a little bit bigger. It doesn't need to be any longer. Okay, like that. Okay, so when I cut it out, we'll cut on the outside. Now this is 1095 high carbon steel. Folks, I say this a lot, but if you ever get arthritis in your hands, it's just the most aggravating thing you'll ever deal with. But anyway, we'll shape the handle up a little bit different up here when we get it cut. Okay, so there is our basic shape right there. Now notice this has a double fuller and some file work. And we'll do a little bit of file work, but I'm just going to do a single fuller. Let's see, and the single fuller, we're just going to sort of eyeball it. Gonna go up high with it like this, and I'll do this before I cut it out, so I can keep it square on the milling machine. Okay, like that, because I do not personally care for double fullers. That's just a reference line. To me, it weakens the blade. Like that. Now first thing I'm going to do, go to the milling machine and do this. Now this is for a young man named Nolan, and his Papa Dan asked me to make this for him. And I would say, Nolan, you are a very lucky young man to have Papa Dan. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. Great man, a great American. So there we go. And this will have a belt sheath, a modern type belt sheath, so he can carry it. So there we go. Let's move over to the milling machine and we'll get set up over there. And I'll see if I can get the camera set up over there, and we'll make our fuller. And all the file work and all that we'll do by hand. Alright, we're set up in the mill. Cut our fuller. Get everything lined up just right. Get my safety glasses on. This will get a little bit loud. I know there's not a lot of good light over here. I've got to get a different kind of light to put over here. And we'll worry about that later. And feed it down. Feed it down just a little bit more, not much. Not like that. It's a very light cut, so I don't think we need any oil on it. Right there. Turn it off. Unlock the spindle. Hang on, let's get moved around here. There we go. There's our fuller right there. Looks pretty cool, huh? Now let's go over to the power saw and cut it off here and start shaping everything up. Now keep in mind that I'm going to cut outside the line so the blade will be a little bit bigger than what it's showing. Alright, set up on the saw. Got my hearing protection, got my safety glasses on. Now this is very, very loud tool, so adjust your volume because I have not figured out in the editing how to do that. So here we go. We're going to go through the whole cut. All right, let me stop just a minute, tell you what's going on. That is a new blade in here. This steel is soft, it's annealed, but when they cut it, they use a laser cutter, and the very edges are still very, very hard. Once you get past that little layer, it softens up and cuts fine. Now that's not true with all this 1095 steel, but this manufacturer, that's the way it's done. So it's fine. Now you'll notice when I start cutting this way, it will cut much easier than that. Okay, watch your ears again. All right, that happens sometimes with that, and it's hot like that. There we go. Now you get the idea. I won't go through the rest of it, but just nibble the big parts away. Hang on, I'm talking loud. I got my earphones on. Nibble the big parts of it away, and the rest of it will be done on the grinder. Same down here. All right, over here at the grinder. Now, I think I was wrong about my blade. It is so dull it will not cut. and that was the last one I had. It may have been one of those old Harbor Freight blades that I stuck in the box, but we'll get some more in a couple days. But we can do it the old style. We just grind it away on the grinder. Got some of it done over here, and I'll do some final shaping over here when I get the handle on. But let's go ahead and grind this off. Now let it cool down good. Watch your volume, as it gets loud. Now when you grind and get your steel really hot, if you dip it in water to cool it so you can handle it, that'll work. But it will also harden the steel, and you don't want steel hardened yet, not until you're ready for heat treating and all that. So let's go ahead and take care of this and this, and the final touches will be with a file by hand. Watch your volume. Alright, it's hot. I'll let it cool down so I can handle this end, and then we'll take care of the rest of the blade. May not show all of that, but you get the idea. We're just going down to the lines, or close to the lines, and then we'll go to the next step. Alright, had to stop for lunch. Lunch of champions. A can of Kipper snacks and crackers. That was good. Now let's grind our bevels on here. Now I adjusted my jig to a pretty sharp angle. Took a couple of passes on each side. And let's see, watch your volume. Shouldn't be too loud, but see how this goes. That looks pretty good. Couple more. Alright, looks pretty good. Now, to avoid having to sand out all these deep scratches, we're going to change the belt, put on the fine belt, and run it out. We still have to sand it, but it won't be as hard to do. And since y'all are with me, let's go ahead and take that one off. Now this is a pretty well used 220 belt. It's not going to take off much material. It's just going to take off some of those marks. Clean our table off. Turn it on, get it adjusted. See how much nicer that looks? Now, I'm gonna just reverse, put that belt back on, reverse the blade when it cools off, and do the same thing. Then our bevels will be done. We'll be ready to go to the vise and start the hand filing. There you go. I'm getting tired. So. Right. Start our hand filing now. Little bit of a finger guard, not a finger guard, a finger choil right there. Smooth that out. That's on the blade side. On the top side of the blade, do the same thing. It's going to ease this sharp edge right here. That, now this will be polished down in the end. Now there's our fuller right there. Gonna mark off our spots for our file work. Just all eyeball, just by eye. Alright, I'm going to start with a triangle file. That's a good triangle groove. Then we'll go back with a round file for the next spot. A little bit more. Okay, and back to the triangle. Do that all the way down. And the last one we want to do is the triangle to match there. Take a few minutes, but we'll get there in a minute. Alright, see if we can see that. Side view. Now, what this is designed for? If you need to, thumb grip, match strike, whatever. But what it's actually designed for, if you have to use this, say self-defense purposes, go in, that fuller blood groove will keep it from sticking. I'll show you an example with this paper towel here, a little bit damp. When it comes out, whatever's in there is going to come with it. I know it sounds horrible, I know it sounds graphic, but that's what it is for. Plus, it looks really cool. So. Alright, now next step, we're going to drill our holes for the handle, and then we'll tweak the little curves in the handle with the Dremel tool. Be ready to blade etch. We'll blade etch it right about here somewhere. I may go old school with this one and scratch it in there because it's a very small area. Then we'll heat treat. Oops, push the button, Ricky. Alright, Sgian Dubh is in the tempering oven. Just came out of heat treat. And that smoky sees a little bit of oil left on there that's burning off. Now this will take about an hour and a half, and then it'll cool for the rest of the day, and we'll get back on it tomorrow, along with those other two that we'll see later. Alright, here's our Sgian Dubh. It's heat treated. It's out of the tempering oven this morning. Now this maker's mark I put in by hand because it's a really narrow blade. Got it all cleaned up again, and next step will be gun blue, and then we'll get the handle cut and put in there.